The Secret of Wealth. This is the only book you need to attract wealth. Money has a secret to tell you. For a long time, people were taught that money is a direct result of physical effort, daily sacrifice, and hard work. And many accepted that as an absolute truth, never questioning it. They grew up hearing that only those who grind hard make money, that life is hard, that no one becomes truly rich without suffering first. And like seeds planted deep in the mind, these phrases took root, invisible yet powerful. Roots that tie down, that limit, that silence any impulse to prosper with ease. But now the time has come to replant, to uproot the roots of scarcity and make room for the seeds of mental wealth. What few people understand is that money is not just a coin, a number, or a piece of paper you carry in your wallet. Money is, above all, a response. It reacts to what you think about it, to what you feel when the topic is wealth, to what you believe is possible for yourself. Money hides from those who treat it like an enemy. It moves away from those who keep complaining that it's never enough, that there's no way, that this isn't for me. But it runs, and runs fast, toward those who can clearly vibrate the energy of abundance. And this is not magic, not luck, not chance, it's perception. When you begin to think of wealth not as a distant goal, but as a possible and accessible state of mind, something within you begins to change. Your thoughts cease to be a battlefield and begin to become a fertile garden where rich ideas grow more easily. Life begins to present signs, small movements, opportunities hidden in ordinary situations. The secret of money, which previously seemed closely guarded, begins to reveal itself in every act of confidence, in every positive thought you maintain even in the face of difficulties. Money speaks to those who learn to listen with a peaceful heart and an open mind. You don't need to chase after money, you just need to learn to walk at the same pace as it. You need to align your inner self with what you want to see on the outside. Those who live in inner scarcity, even if they earn a large sum, soon return to zero, because the problem has never been how much comes in, but how much the mind is prepared to maintain. True change begins within, where no one sees, but where everything is created. That's why this book, even if it's spoken, even if it doesn't have pages, is the only one you need, because it goes straight to the point. You. Your way of thinking, acting, feeling, and imagining wealth. Before we begin with the teachings, make sure you've subscribed to the channel, but only do so if you believe you were born to enjoy the best this earth has to offer. Say it out loud right now with firmness and conviction. I am ready to prosper. And if that phrase resonated with you, leave a comment saying, I am ready to prosper. Because when you write, you declare. And every declaration made with faith becomes a seed planted in the invisible. Now, let's continue. All the content you're going to hear here has a single objective: to retrain your mind to feel comfortable with the idea of wealth. And this may seem simple, but it's not. The mind that has been trained for years to think small resists when you start to imagine a big life. It will sabotage you. It will remember past failures. It will repeat the phrases of relatives who also lived in scarcity. It will say, that's impossible. That's not for me. That's nonsense. But you need to be more stubborn than those voices, because they are not yours. They are just echoes of the past, inherited programming from a time when no one knew that thought has power. A person who begins to change their thoughts doesn't see immediate results, and that's why many give up. But those who persist reap the rewards, because the mind needs time to adapt to the new frequency. And here's one of the most important keys that money wants to tell you. It comes when you stop begging for it and start behaving like someone who already has it. This isn't about deceiving yourself. It's about training your mind to live in the desired future, even while the present doesn't yet show signs. This is called faith. And faith, in this context, is maintaining the energy of someone who knows it's coming, even when everything seems the same. Say it out loud. Money likes me. I am a magnet for wealth. And even if it seems strange now, keep repeating it. Repetition is what reprograms. Your subconscious needs to hear you saying new things. It needs different commands. It needs to learn to associate money with good feelings, not guilt, fear, or worry. You will only attract what your mind believes to be safe. And for many, wealth still seems dangerous, distant, unattainable. As long as you feel that money can distance you from your essence, it will never stay with you. The secret is to transform this relationship, and it all starts here. True financial transformation isn't what happens at the bank. It's what happens in how you feel when you imagine a wealthy life. Do you feel uncomfortable, anxious, guilty? Then there's still inner work to be done. Wealth only manifests for those who are at peace with the idea of receiving it. And that peace comes from the certainty that you deserve it, that it's not wrong to have it, that it's not shameful to desire it, that it's not a sin to prosper. On the contrary, it's a right. Now pay attention. Every thought you have is a seed, and the emotion you feel when you think it is the water that nourishes that seed. If you think, "I'll never get out of debt," with sadness, anger, or despair, you are watering that seed forcefully, and it grows. Now, if you think, "I'm ready to live debt-free," with relief, confidence, and gratitude, that's the seed that grows. And that's why feeling is more important than just thinking. Emotion is the fuel of manifestation. Therefore, every day you need to cultivate mental habits of wealth. Upon waking, instead of thinking about problems, say, "Today, I allow wealth to flow to me." While showering, imagine you are also cleansing old beliefs. When you look in the mirror, declare, "I am worthy of living a rich life." This seems small, but little by little, your mind begins to understand the new path. It stops resisting. It begins to cooperate, and the external world follows this change. You'll notice that different people start to get closer, that new ideas emerge from nowhere, that paths open up where there were once walls, because life always responds to the frequency you emit. And when your frequency changes, the world changes. Not because it's magical, but because you are finally ready to see what was previously blocked by your mental patterns. One of the most ignored truths by those who live in scarcity is that the mind never stops working. It is always creating. Even when you don't realize it, it's operating like a silent factory, producing results from what you feed it every day. And if you feed it doubt, fear, insecurity, worry, comparison, devaluation, then these are the materials with which it will build your financial reality. On the other hand, when you begin to plant thoughts of confidence, security, self-worth, gratitude, and deservingness within it, even if it seems unbelievable at first, your mind begins to replace the bricks of scarcity with the beams of abundance. The secret to money is simple. It always flows towards those who vibrate with lightness when thinking about it. This happens because your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It processes everything as true information and acts accordingly. When you spend hours of your day thinking about overdue bills, how money isn't coming in, how difficult everything is, your mind understands this as an operating order. It says, "Okay, so this is what we're experiencing. I'm going to look for more proof of this." And so it does. You start to see only what confirms your belief. You ignore opportunities because you think they're not for you. You sabotage chances because you're afraid of being disappointed. You refuse help because you feel you don't deserve it. And all this happens automatically, without you realizing that you are being controlled by an old program. This programming comes from a long time ago. It comes from childhood, when you heard your parents saying that money doesn't grow on trees, that rich people are thieves, that to earn money, you have to suffer. It comes from school, where they taught you to be an employee and not an entrepreneur of your own life. It comes from society, which glorifies sacrifice and condemns those who want to live well. It comes from religion, misinterpreted, which preaches that poverty is a virtue and wealth is a sin. All of this was ingrained in you as if it were absolute truth. And now, as an adult, you carry these beliefs as if they were your own, when in reality they are just echoes of voices you don't even remember where they came from anymore. Therefore, stop saying things are difficult. Stop reinforcing with your words the scarcity you want to eliminate. Every time you say it's complicated, that the country is broke, that only those with connections make money, you are signing an invisible contract with poverty. And this contract is renewed every time you repeat the same phrases without realizing it. You need to understand that the universe works by frequency, by vibration. It doesn't respond to your superficial will. It responds to your dominant internal state. You can say, "I want to be rich," but if internally you feel shame, fear, or guilt when imagining it, it's the feeling that wins, not the phrase. The key is to align what you say, what you feel, and what you believe. When these three things come together, money starts to appear. Think of your life as a radio station. Every thought, every word, every emotion is a frequency that you transmit to the universe. And the universe, like a giant receiver, picks up that frequency and sends back to you experiences that match it. If you are tuned to the frequency of scarcity, that station that only plays songs about lack, difficulty, impossibility, then that's what will appear in your life. But if you change stations, if you consciously choose to tune into the frequency of abundance, everything begins to change. Not overnight, but consistently and realistically. And this doesn't mean you're going to win the lottery tomorrow, or that $1 million will suddenly fall into your account without explanation. It's not about that. It's about realizing that life starts to cooperate. You start to be remembered by people, to receive referrals, to have simple ideas with high value, to sell more, or even spend less effortlessly. Things start to make sense, not because it became easy, but because you became light. And lightness is true wealth. Money arrives faster where there is no resistance. Resistance is the biggest financial obstacle there is, and it appears in subtle ways. It appears when you see someone successful and think, they must have done something wrong to get there. It appears when you earn extra money and immediately feel guilty, as if you didn't deserve it. It appears when you're afraid to grow because you don't want people to think you've changed. It appears when you sabotage yourself before even trying, because that way you don't have to deal with the possibility of failure. All this resistance is blocked energy. And blocked energy doesn't allow anything new to enter. But be warned, it's no use listening to all this and continuing with the same habits. Habits create identity, and your identity is what attracts or repels money. You may say you want to get rich, but if you still act like someone trapped in scarcity, the result will be the same. Waking up complaining, speaking ill of those who have money, consuming content about tragedy and misery, comparing your life to others, spending what you don't have to please those who don't even care about you. All of this keeps you on the frequency of poverty. And as long as your frequency is in that range, money will pass you by. Let's talk about this in more depth. Your morning habits determine the tone of your entire day. If you wake up, and the first thing you do is grab your phone to see bad news, to go on social media and compare yourself to edited lives, to read messages that stress you out, you are programming your mind to operate in survival mode. And in survival mode, there is no room for prosperity. There is only room for fear, alertness, defense. Your body releases cortisol, your brain enters a state of fight or flight, and you spend the whole day making decisions from this place of contraction. Now imagine the opposite. You wake up, take a deep breath, and give thanks for being alive. Before any external stimulus, you connect with what you want to create. You visualize your day as you want it to be. You choose a powerful thought and repeat it with conviction. This is not self-deception, this is conscious direction. It's you taking control of your own mind instead of letting it be controlled by everything that happens around you. This simple act, done every day, completely restructures your relationship with life and consequently with money. A powerful habit is to start the day by saying, I trust that money will come to me today. Repeat this before any automatic thoughts enter your mind. Say it as someone who believes even if you don't have proof yet. Because that's what faith is. You believe before you see. And money loves that attitude because it is movement, and movement requires trust. Money doesn't like anxious, controlling, desperate people. It approaches those who are at peace, those who already feel complete, even before having it, because it understands that there is room to grow there. Think of money as a living entity with its own personality. It observes how you treat it. It perceives whether you respect it or despise it. It senses whether you value it or fear it, and it responds accordingly. When you treat every penny with gratitude, when you organize your finances even if they are small, when you pay your bills with the awareness that you are making a fair exchange of energy, money recognizes this. It understands that you are ready to handle larger sums. But if you waste the little you have, if you complain when paying bills, if you treat money as an enemy, it moves away, because nobody wants to stay where they are not welcome. Say this now: the money is on its way. I am an open space for it. Repeat it aloud. Don't be ashamed. If you don't speak up, if you don't take a stand, your mind will continue repeating the same old internal dialogues. And these dialogues are treacherous They are whispers saying that you can't, that you weren't born for this, that you're too old, that you missed the right time. All of this is a lie created by a mind that has become accustomed to living in a state of constant alert. And constant alert generates constant scarcity. Your mission from now on is to silence these alerts and activate your wealth center. This source of wealth has always existed within you. It's not something you need to create from scratch. It's something you need to unearth. It's there, buried under years of negative conditioning, bad experiences, and accumulated frustrations. But it remains alive, waiting for you to rescue it. And the rescue begins with a simple decision. I no longer accept living like this. I deserve abundance, and I will do whatever it takes internally to align myself with it. This decision, when made sincerely, changes everything, because it activates an internal search mechanism. Your mind begins to look for ways to make it real. Start realizing that the universe gives you signs every day, but because you're so focused on fear, you ignore the paths that appear. Have you ever noticed that sometimes you have a good idea and think, oh, but this won't lead anywhere? That's your old mind trying to pull you back, and you need to tell it, now I choose wealth. It's that simple. Calmly, with conviction, with firmness. You don't need to shout. Just affirm it clearly internally. Repetition is what creates a new neural pathway, and that pathway leads to money. Neural highways are pathways your brain creates through repetition. The more you think in a certain way, the stronger that pathway becomes. It's like a forest trail. The more you walk it, the easier it becomes. The problem is that most people have giant neural highways leading straight to scarcity. They are wide, well-paved highways because they have been used thousands of times. Meanwhile, the path to abundance is just a narrow, overgrown trail because it has almost never been traveled. But the good news is that you can change that. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself, allows you to create new pathways and abandon old ones. You don't need to have everything figured out to start thriving. You just need to shift your focus. Instead of focusing on what's missing, start focusing on what already exists. Be grateful for what you have today, not with forced gratitude, but with the perspective of someone who recognizes they already have something to build upon to reach the next level. True gratitude is a magnet. It attracts more of what you value. When you are grateful even for the pennies, the universe understands that you are ready for millions, because those who disdain the little things cannot sustain the much. There is a spiritual law that says, what you appreciate multiplies and what you depreciate diminishes. Look at your life now and notice what you have been appreciating. Do you spend more time valuing what you have or complaining about what you lack? Do you recognize your progress or only see your failures? Do you celebrate small victories or only wait for the big moment that never comes? The way you treat your present completely determines your future. If you cannot honor where you are, you will never get where you want to be. Think about it. How can money trust someone who constantly says it's dirty, that it only brings problems, that it corrupts people? It's like wanting to get close to someone, but that person only speaks ill of you behind your back. Would you stay close to them? Of course not. Money works the same way. It perceives how you treat it through your thoughts, your words, your actions, and it only approaches when it feels it will be welcome. Many people grew up hearing that money is the root of all evil. But the truth is that money is neutral. It's just a tool, a means of exchange. What determines whether it will be used for good or evil is the character of the person who possesses it. A good person with money does good things. A bad person with money does bad things. Money only amplifies who you already are. So if you are a good person, why would you be afraid of having money? Why would you deprive yourself of a tool that could allow you to help more people, live better, fulfill dreams, take care of your family? This fear is not yours. It's implanted, and you can choose to remove it. Take care of your family. This fear is not yours. It's implanted, and you can choose to remove it. If you want to go deeper, start by observing yourself when someone talks about wealth. How do you react? With admiration or envy? With curiosity or judgment? Your reactions are mirrors of your current frequency. And the secret lies in looking at these mirrors without guilt, but with a willingness to change the reflection. The mind that sees wealth in others with lightness is ready to receive its own abundance. And it has nothing to do with deserving in the religious sense. It has to do with willingness, with training, with alignment. When you feel envy, What you're saying to the universe is, that's for others, not for me. You're putting yourself in a position of lack, of inferiority. And from that position, it's impossible to attract abundance. Now, when you can look at someone who is rich and think, that's great. If they could do it, I can too. I want to learn how they did it. You're saying, I'm part of that group. I deserve that too. And that change of perspective is revolutionary, because it puts you in the same vibrational field of abundance. Here's a truth few tell you. You are already rich in potential. Wealth isn't something you need to acquire externally. It's something you need to allow within. It already exists as a possibility, like a seed inside you waiting for the right conditions to germinate. And those conditions are aligned thought, elevated emotion, consistent action. When these three elements come together, wealth manifests, not like magic, but as a natural consequence of an internal system that is finally working in your favor. If you earn little today, if you live with debt, if you feel suffocated, know this: that's not your identity. It's just a phase you're going through, and phases change. What can't remain the same is your way of thinking, because fixed thinking generates repeated reality. As long as you repeat the same way of seeing the world will repeat the same way of treating you. Money wants to help you, but it needs to find a partner in you, not an enemy. Partnering with money means understanding that it is abundant, that there is enough money for everyone, that when someone wins, it doesn't mean you lose. It also means you are willing to serve, to add value, to solve problems, because money is exchange energy. The more value you give to the world, the more money flows to you. And value doesn't have to be something complicated. It can be a genuine smile, a word of encouragement, a job well done, a useful product, an efficient service. Anything that makes someone's life easier has value, and everything that has value can be monetized. Let's do a simple exercise now. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine your bank account full, really full. Imagine the statement, the number. Imagine yourself looking at that amount calmly, without anxiety. Now feel what it would be like to know that all your bills are paid. Feel the lightness, the tranquility. Imagine yourself entering a store and choosing without fear. Traveling without calculating every penny. Helping other people without worrying about whether you'll run out. This is the feeling that attracts money. It's not the need. It's the silent certainty that you deserve to live like this. This exercise is not useless fantasy. It's neuro-linguistic programming. When you visualize something in detail and feel the emotions associated with it, your brain begins to accept it as possible. And when something becomes possible in your mind, you start to act differently. You make better decisions. You seize opportunities you would have previously missed. You behave like someone who already has what they desire. And this behavior attracts the corresponding reality. Most people do the opposite. They only believe when they see. But life works the other way around. You need to believe to see. You need to feel as if you already have it, so that the universe can deliver. It's counterintuitive, I know, but that's how it works. The great spiritual masters always knew this. Jesus said, "Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Neville Goddard taught the technique of living in the end, feeling that what you desire has already been achieved. Wallace Wattles spoke about thinking in the right way, all pointing to the same truth. Your external reality is a reflection of your internal state. You can hear all this and think it sounds good, but if you don't apply it, nothing will change. So here's the invitation. Start behaving today like someone who is becoming wealthy. I'm not saying to spend what you don't have. I'm saying to think differently, speak differently, position yourself differently. Tell yourself several times a day, I am transforming. And this transformation begins in my mind. The more you repeat it, the more your brain will understand that there is a new path. And it will begin to pave that path, creating opportunities, connections, ideas, and perceptions that didn't exist before. True transformation requires daily commitment. Doing it once and expecting miracles won't work. You need to create a ritual, a sacred moment of the day where you disconnect from external chaos and reconnect with your inner vision. It could be in the morning, before the world pulls you towards its demands. It could be at night, before bed, when the mind is more receptive. The important thing is consistency, because it is repetition that imprints new truths on the subconscious. Some people will think all this is nonsense. They'll say it's cheap, positive thinking, shallow self-help, that life doesn't work that way. Let them talk. They're trapped in their own mental prison and want you to be trapped too. But you don't need their approval anymore. You just need your own courage to experiment, to test it, to see with your own eyes if it works or not. And when you truly test it, when you commit to this new way of thinking for at least 30, 60, 90 days, you'll see changes. Small at first, but real. And these changes will give you the proof you needed. They will show you that you are not a victim of circumstances, that you have power, that you can indeed influence your reality, not by controlling everything out there, but by mastering everything in here. And when you master your inner world, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, the outer world adjusts. Not because you are manipulating anything, but because you are finally in harmony with the universal laws that have always been operating, whether you believed in them or not. Believe me, money wants to find you. It just needs you to put yourself on the right path. And that path isn't an external road. It's an internal state, a place within you where fear no longer rules, where scarcity no longer has a voice, where guilt no longer controls your choices. That's where wealth resides. And that's where we're going. This place is your true home. It's where you were before the world told you who you should be. It's the version of you that knows without a shadow of a doubt that you deserve all the good things, that you don't need to prove anything to anyone, that you carry no guilt or shame, that you understand that living well isn't selfishness, it's responsibility, because when you are well, you can help others get there too. When you are financially at peace, you become an example, an inspiration, a bridge. And in the end, that's what it's all about. It's not about accumulating money for the sake of money. It's about freedom, about having choice, about being able to say yes to what makes you feel good and no to what drains you. About being able to invest in your growth, take care of your health, travel, explore, learn, experience. About being able to help those you love without sacrificing yourself. About being able to sleep peacefully, knowing you are safe. This is not luxury. This is a dignified life. And you have every right to live like this. In fact, you were made to live like this. You just forgot along the way. But now you're remembering. And this memory will change everything. Many people constantly ask for a financial change as if it were a favor the universe needs to do. But true change doesn't happen out of pity or luck. It happens when a person decides, with all their might, to become someone who can handle wealth. Because money doesn't change the life of someone who hasn't changed inside. If it comes before mental change, it will leave as easily as it arrived. Have you ever seen people who received an inheritance, a prize, or even won the lottery, and shortly afterward, return to a life worse than before? This happens because money amplifies what already exists. And if inside there is only confusion, unpreparedness, fear, guilt, or limiting beliefs, money finds no structure to stay. There are documented cases of people who earned millions and in less than 5 years were completely bankrupt and in debt. This isn't bad luck. It's a lack of inner preparation. It's like giving a race car to someone who has never driven. The person might accelerate, but they don't know how to control it. They don't know how to take the curves. They don't know when to brake. And the result is always the same, an accident. Money works exactly the same way. It requires inner skills that go far beyond knowing how to add and subtract. It demands emotional maturity, clarity of purpose, discipline, self-knowledge, and above all, a healthy relationship with the concept of deserving. You need to understand that becoming wealthy is an internal process that then manifests externally. It's not the other way around. It's no use waiting to have money to then think like a wealthy person. First, you think like someone who is prosperous. Then, life begins to reorganize itself to reflect this new pattern. And that's the most challenging part, keeping a focused mind even when resources are still scarce. This requires practice, it requires decision-making, and it requires constant vigilance over your own thoughts. Most people operate on autopilot. They wake up and let their minds wander wherever they want. And where do they go? Straight back to the same old thoughts, the same worries, the same fears, the same complaints. It's an endless loop that has been repeating for years, sometimes decades. And as long as this loop continues to operate, life will continue to produce the same results. Because you can't harvest apples if you keep planting thorns, and most people plant mental thorns every day without realizing it. These thorns are the automatic phrases you repeat without questioning. I'll never get out of this. Money isn't for people like me. Every time I save something, a problem comes along and takes it all. Rich people are all the same, they're no good. I work hard and earn little, this will never change. Each of these phrases is a poisonous seed being planted in the garden of your mind. And you water these seeds with emotion, with repetition, with conviction, until they grow and become giant trees that completely block the light of abundance. Right now, as you listen to these words, your mind is trying to classify whether this is true or not. It's searching for proof. But the right question isn't whether this works. The right question is, who do you need to become for money to want to stay with you? Think about it, because money won't change your identity. It's your identity that defines how much money you can keep. And here's a powerful key. The wealth you want already exists. It doesn't need to be created. It just needs to be accessed. And access happens through mindset. There's a powerful concept called a financial thermostat. It works like this. Each person has a comfort level with money programmed into their subconscious. For some, this thermostat is set at 1,000 Rs. For others, at 10,000. For still others, at 100,000 or more. And the interesting thing is that your life will always gravitate around this number. If you earn less, you'll strive to get there. But if you earn more, you'll unconsciously sabotage yourself to return to your comfort level. This explains why so many people who receive salary increases remain in financial straits, because the problem was never the amount of money coming in. It was the internal thermostat that needed adjusting. And how do you adjust that thermostat? By changing the image you have of yourself, by changing what you believe is possible for your life, by changing the story you tell yourself about who you are and what you deserve. This is the inner work that nobody wants to do because it's difficult, it's uncomfortable. It demands brutal honesty with yourself. It's much easier to keep blaming the government, the economy, the boss, the lack of opportunities. But these excuses, however valid they may seem, keep you stuck in the same place. Start acting like someone who respects money, even when you still have little. Money scattered around the house, a messy wallet, ignored bills. These are signals your mind sends saying that money isn't important. And what isn't valued slips away. If you treat a $5 bill as if it were insignificant, you're telling the universe that you don't recognize the value you hold in your hands. And if you don't value the little you have, how will you value the much? Think of someone you admire for being prosperous. Now imagine how that person treats money. Do they leave crumpled bills tossed at the bottom of their purse? Do they ignore bank statements? Do they buy impulsively without thinking? Probably not. People who have money have developed a respectful relationship with it. They know where every penny comes from and where it goes. They make conscious choices. They delay gratification when necessary. They invest instead of just spending. And all of this begins with mindset, not with the amount of money available. This is where money starts to elude so many people, because they ask for wealth, but live vibrating with contempt, fear, and confusion. And this is the secret that few understand. Money has sensitivity. It perceives where there is respect, where there is organization, where there is purpose. And it approaches these people. It likes to circulate in environments where it knows it will be well cared for, where it will be used with awareness and gratitude. It may seem strange to talk about money as if it were a conscious entity, but energetically that's exactly how it works. Money is condensed energy. It's the result of an exchange of value. And like all energy, it moves, flows, circulates, and it naturally flows to where it finds receptivity. Have you ever noticed that some people seem to attract financial opportunities effortlessly, while others struggle their whole lives and never get anywhere? The difference isn't luck. It's the energetic field that each person emits in relation to money. Therefore, start taking care of the little you have as if it were a lot. Organize your wallet, organize your bills. Look with gratitude at every incoming sum, even if it's just a few Rs. Say, I am grateful for this money. It is proof that abundance is reaching me. Do this with sincerity, with presence, because money listens. When you pick up a banknote and carefully smooth it, when you keep your coins organized, when you say thank you when paying a bill knowing you are receiving something in return, you are sending a powerful message to the universe and to your own subconscious. I value this. I recognize the energy of exchange present here. I am worthy of managing more. And this message, when sent consistently, begins to change your reality. There's a simple yet transformative exercise. Every night before bed, take your physical money. It doesn't matter if it's a small amount, and carefully organize it. Smooth out the bills, put them in order of value, and give thanks for each one. Do this as a ritual, not as a boring obligation. Feel genuine gratitude. This simple act reprograms your relationship with money in a way that theory alone cannot. Because you are engaging your senses, your emotions, your attention. You are saying through actions, not just words, that money is important to you. In fact, say this out loud now. Money listens to me, and I'm learning to speak to it intelligently. Repeat it. Engrave this in your mind. This isn't superstition. This is mental reprogramming. You're exchanging the language of scarcity for the language of prosperity, and every language needs to be practiced until it becomes natural. Think about it. When you're learning a new language, at first it feels fake, forced, strange. You stumble over words, mispronounce words, feel ridiculous. But if you keep practicing, eventually it becomes natural. You start thinking in that language, dreaming in it. It becomes a part of you. It's the same with the language of abundance. At first, stating, "I am prosperous," when you're broke, will seem like a lie. It will seem like self-deception. But if you persist, if you repeat it with conviction, if you act according to this new identity, eventually it becomes real. Now, pay close attention to the conversations you have with friends, relatives, and colleagues. If most of these conversations revolve around financial problems, complaints, comparisons, or blame, you urgently need to change the environment. You don't need to cut people off, but you need to stop feeding conversations that reinforce scarcity. The mind is like fertile soil. If you plant words of poverty every day, there's no point in expecting a rich harvest. This is especially difficult when you're surrounded by people who constantly complain, because there's social pressure to participate in those conversations, to agree, to also complain. It's almost as if it's a requirement to belong to the group, but you need to understand that belonging to a scarcity group keeps you in scarcity. It's not about being arrogant or thinking you're better than others. It's about protecting your mental energy. It's about consciously choosing which seeds you allow to be planted in your inner garden. Be the person who changes the subject, who steers the conversation toward possibility, who shows gratitude instead of complaining. This isn't being fake, this is being strategic. Those who live in emotional scarcity never attract material abundance. And this is a hard truth to swallow, but a necessary one. You need to feel deserving before you prove you deserve it. You need to see yourself as prosperous before you see the money in your account. You need to behave like someone who already has it, even when you don't yet. This isn't an illusion. This is practice. There is a big difference between illusion and vision. Illusion is denying reality and pretending everything is fine when it's not. Vision is recognizing where you are, but maintaining focus on where you want to go. Vision is using your imagination creatively to build a bridge between the present and your desired future. And that bridge is built with consistent thoughts, elevated emotions, and aligned actions. A prosperous mind is trained in the invisible. It is in silence when no one is watching that you prove to yourself that you are ready, when you refuse to complain, when you choose to be grateful, when you control your impulses, when you say no to what doesn't align with your new identity. That's when wealth begins to approach, because it perceives that you are serious, that you are not just seeking money to alleviate a problem, but rather that you are willing to become someone compatible with abundance. The invisible is where all power resides. It's where real transformation happens, because anyone can act well when they're being watched, when they have something to gain, when they want to impress. But acting with integrity when no one is watching, keeping your commitments to yourself when it would be easy to give up, choosing the difficult but right path instead of the easy but mediocre one, that's what separates those who talk from those who do. And money recognizes those who do. Do you want to know why certain people seem to have luck with money? Because they've built a solid foundation in the invisible realm. They've done the inner work that no one sees. They've reprogrammed their beliefs, aligned their emotions, disciplined their thoughts, organized their finances, taken care of the little things, and prepared for the big things. And when the opportunity arose, they were ready. Meanwhile, other people wait for the opportunity to arrive before preparing. But it doesn't work that way. Preparation comes first, always. And this transformation doesn't happen all at once, but it happens every day in simple decisions, like what you say, what you consume, what you listen to, what you think about before you go to sleep, what you do when no one is watching. Every little detail counts, because they all form your vibrational field, and it is this field that determines what you attract. Think of your life as a large magnetic field. Every thought, every emotion, every word, every action all contribute to the frequency of that field. And that field is constantly attracting experiences, people, and circumstances that resonate with it. If your field is vibrating with fear, scarcity, anger, victimization, then that's what you'll attract. But if you consciously work to raise that vibration, to tune it to gratitude, trust, abundance, possibility, you begin to attract completely different things. And here's something important. You don't need to change everything at once. Sustainable change happens in small, consistent steps, one thought at a time, one decision at a time, one action at a time, but the secret is consistency. It's choosing the new path every day, even when it's difficult, even when you don't see immediate results, even when it seems like nothing is changing. Because behind the scenes, in the invisible realm, everything is changing. Your mind is being restructured. Your neural connections are being remade. Your energy field is being recalibrated. Many people say they want to get rich, but they live with resentment towards those who have money. This is an inconsistency that the mind perceives as conflict. And the mind doesn't sustain conflicts for very long. It chooses a side. And if the side you nurture most strongly is that of criticism, anger, and envy, then that's the side that will win. And money will continue to avoid you, because it never goes where there is judgment. This is one of the biggest obstacles to prosperity that exists. Because when you negatively judge those who have money, when you automatically assume that rich people are dishonest, greedy, or morally inferior, you are creating an unconscious association between having money and being a bad person. And if deep down you consider yourself a good, decent, honest person, your subconscious will sabotage you every time you start to prosper, because it will interpret that earning money means becoming a bad person. And you will unconsciously destroy any financial progress to preserve your self-image as a good person. This is insane, but it happens all the time. And the person doesn't even realize it. They only know that, mysteriously, every time things start to improve financially, something goes wrong. An unexpected expense appears, an opportunity slips away, a bad decision is made. And this repeats indefinitely until the person does the inner work of dissociating money from immorality. Here's what you should do. Every time you see someone prospering, instead of criticizing, mentally say, "It's wonderful that wealth has come to this person. This proves that it can come to me too." This small adjustment changes everything. You shift your focus from envy to possibility. You stop excluding yourself and start including yourself in the realm of wealth. And that has a power you can't even imagine yet. When you celebrate someone else's victory, you're telling the universe, "I recognize that abundance exists. I recognize that it's possible, and I'm putting myself next in line." It's as if you're raising your hand and saying, "I want it too, and I know I can have it." But when you criticize, envy, or diminish, you're saying, "This shouldn't exist, this is wrong. I'm not part of this group." And the universe simply responds. It says, "Okay, you're not part of it, so you don't receive it." This shift in perspective is revolutionary, because it takes you out of the victim position and puts you in the position of co-creator. You stop thinking that the world is unfair and that you've been forgotten. You begin to understand that there is enough abundance for everyone, and that the wealth of others does not diminish your possibilities. In fact, it increases them, because every prosperous person is living proof that it is possible. It's a map showing that the path exists. Do you want to know why so many people never get rich? Because they want money, but they don't want to change. They want wealth, but they don't want to let go of old beliefs, old habits, old excuses. But the truth is harsh. There is no new life with an old mindset. The person you are today has brought you this far, but to go further, you need to become someone different, someone who thinks differently, who feels differently, who acts differently. This is the truth no one wants to hear, because it's comfortable being who you are. It's familiar. It's safe, even if it's painful. Real change is scary. It requires you to leave behind parts of yourself you've carried for years. It requires you to admit you were wrong about certain things. It requires vulnerability, humility, courage, and most people aren't willing to pay that price. They prefer to keep complaining, blaming, wishing, but without ever truly transforming. But you, if you're still here, are not like most people. You're willing to look inward. You're willing to question your own beliefs. You're willing to do things differently. And that already puts you ahead of 90% of people, because the first step to any transformation is recognizing that it's necessary. It's accepting that what you've been doing isn't working. It's having the courage to say, I need to change, and I will change. And this is the invitation that money makes to you every day. Are you ready to receive me, or will you still push me away with your thoughts of scarcity? Only you can answer this question, and the answer is not in what you say. It's in what you vibrate. The answer lies in your daily actions. It's in the thoughts you choose to cultivate when you wake up. It's in how you react when something goes wrong. It's in what you do with the few reas you have now. It's in the way you talk about money when no one important is listening. It's in the content you consume, the environments you frequent, the conversations you participate in. All of this makes up your vibration, and your vibration is your energetic address. It's where the universe finds you to make deliveries. If you want to change your address, you need to change your vibration. And changing your vibration means changing who you are at the most fundamental level. It means rebuilding your identity. It means killing the old you and giving birth to a new one. This sounds dramatic because it is dramatic. Real transformation is not cosmetic. It's not just changing superficial behaviors. It's an inner revolution. It's a death and a rebirth. And only those who are willing to die to the old can be born to the new. Money is waiting for you on the other side of this transformation. It's always been there. You just couldn't see it because you were looking through the eyes of scarcity. But when you go through this process, when you truly transform, you begin to see with new eyes. And what you see is a world full of opportunities that have always been there. You realize that money was never the problem. The problem was the version of you that wasn't ready to receive it, manage it, and multiply it. Now you know what you need to do. It's not complex, but it's profound. It demands daily commitment. It demands mental vigilance. It demands that you actively choose several times a day the new path instead of the old one. But each time you make that choice, you become stronger. The new neural pathway widens. The new identity becomes more solid. And money, perceiving this solidity, begins to approach. First slowly, testing if you have truly changed. Then with more force, trusting that you are ready. And finally in abundance, knowing that it has found a worthy home where it can circulate, grow, and multiply. And that home is you, the new you, the you who decided to change in order to receive. Most people believe they will only begin to prosper when everything is perfect, when the debts are gone, when life is organized, when they have more time, more energy, more knowledge, more support. And this is one of the biggest deceptions the mind creates to postpone change. Life doesn't wait for the ideal scenario to act. Prosperity doesn't either. It begins precisely from the point where you decide to break free from paralysis. And paralysis is always fueled by justifications that seem logical, but which hide the fear of committing to one's own greatness. This fear is subtle. It doesn't appear screaming, "I'm afraid of being successful." It appears disguised as prudence, realism, responsibility. It says things like, "It's not the right time. I need to resolve this first. I'll wait until I'm more prepared." And you believe it because it sounds reasonable. But behind this reasonableness lies a deep terror. The fear that if you actually try and fail, you'll prove to yourself that you're incapable. So it's safer not to try. It's more comfortable to postpone. Because while you postpone, you can still cling to the fantasy that one day you will do it, one day you will succeed. But that day never comes, because it doesn't exist on the calendar. It only exists in the decision, and the decision doesn't ask permission from circumstances. It doesn't wait for the universe's green light. It doesn't await the perfect alignment of the planets. The decision is an act of courage that happens despite the scenario, not because of it. It's you saying, no matter what's happening around me, no matter how many problems I have, no matter how many times I've failed, I decide now that I will prosper, and I will start from where I am with what I have, being who I am. Have you ever noticed how often you know what you need to do, but you don't do it? You know you need to change your habits, improve your relationship with money, organize your finances, review your beliefs, but you postpone it, and you postpone it with excuses that convince even yourself. I'm tired today. This week is hectic. I'll start after the holiday, when there's no point in trying now. And so time passes, and the cycle repeats itself. Because it's not a lack of time, it's a lack of decision. And money only respects those who decide, those who act, those who move. Think about how many times you've said, starting Monday, I'm going to begin, and Monday arrived and you didn't. Think about how many promises you've made to yourself and broken. Think about how many plans you've made and abandoned. This doesn't happen because you're weak or incapable. It happens because you haven't yet made a real decision. You've made an intention. And intention is different from decision. Intention is I want, I would like, it would be good if. Decision is I will, no matter what happens. This is non-negotiable. When you make a real decision, something changes inside you. There's a firmness, a clarity, a determination that doesn't need external motivation to sustain itself. You simply do it, not because you're inspired, not because you're excited, but because you decided. And those who decide don't negotiate with themselves. They don't look for excuses. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They simply act. Money is not a distant entity that chooses whom it will favor. It is like water. It flows where it finds a clear path. And when your mind is full of blockages, negative beliefs, and unresolved financial traumas, money encounters obstacles. It tries to get closer, but it hits invisible walls. And these walls are built with recurring thoughts, unresolved emotions, and attitudes that contradict what you say you want. Imagine a river. The water wants to flow. It has no preferences, no prejudices. It simply seeks the path of least resistance and flows along it. If it encounters a rock, it goes around it. If it encounters a dam, it accumulates until it overflows or finds another way out. But if it finds a free channel, it flows with force and speed. Money works exactly like that. It is always in motion, always looking for where it can flow, and it naturally flows to where it encounters no resistance. And what creates resistance? Fear, guilt, shame, anger, envy, devaluation. All these feelings about money create energetic barriers that block the flow. It's like building huge dams and then complaining that the water doesn't reach you. The problem isn't the lack of water, it's the excess of blockages. Therefore, start looking at what you repeat every day. What phrases come out of your mouth when the subject is money? What feelings arise when you think about your finances? What stories do you tell yourself? Do you say you have bad luck with money? That it never works out? That you weren't born for this? These phrases are codes, and each code generates a command for your mind, and the mind, obedient, transforms this into reality. Your mind is like an extremely powerful computer, but it needs programming, and you are the one who programs your mind through your words, your thoughts, your emotions. Every time you say, I am poor, you are literally programming your mind to create and maintain poverty. Every time you say, money isn't for me, you are installing financial blocking software. Every time you say, I'll never succeed, you are giving a direct command to your brain to stop looking for solutions. And the worst part is that you do it without realizing it. These are automatic phrases that come out of your mouth dozens of times a day. These are thoughts that pass through your head hundreds of times a week, and each repetition reinforces the programming. Each repetition makes that belief stronger, more ingrained, more true, until you don't even question it anymore. You simply accept it as an immutable fact of your life. But here's the good news. If you've programmed your mind for scarcity, you can reprogram it for abundance. The process is the same. Consistent repetition of new commands until they replace the old ones. Is it simple? Yes. Is it easy? No. Because it requires constant vigilance, mental discipline, and patience with yourself. But it is possible. And when you understand this, when you truly absorb that you have this power, everything changes. Now imagine if every day you started saying, I am reprogramming my mind for wealth. Each day my frequency is higher. Money is getting closer. Imagine the impact of that over a week, a month, a year. It's not magic, it's math. Repetition generates reinforcement, and reinforcement creates patterns, and patterns become reality. It all starts in the invisible, and the invisible is formed by what you repeat. Think about it in practical terms. If you repeat a phrase 10 times a day for 30 days, that's 300 repetitions. If you do that for a year, that's more than 3,600 repetitions. Do you think that after saying and feeling that money is approaching 3,600 times, your mind will continue operating in the same scarcity pattern? It's impossible, because the brain adapts. It creates new connections. It recognizes new patterns. It seeks evidence to confirm the new programming. And that's where the magic that isn't magic begins. You start noticing opportunities that were always there but you didn't see. You start having ideas that didn't occur to you before. You start meeting people who can help you. You start making better decisions, not because the universe changed, but because you changed. And by changing, you began to perceive and access possibilities that were previously invisible to you. Say this now. From today on, I will only repeat what brings me closer to wealth. Repeat it again. Feel the words. Because when you start to hear yourself speaking with conviction, your mind pays attention, and it begins to make room for a new program, a program where money is no longer an enemy, but an ally. Saying it out loud has a special power, because when you hear your own voice affirming something, it carries more weight in the brain than just thinking it. It's as if you're giving a testimony to yourself. And testimonies have power. They create reality. That's why many spiritual traditions and manifestation practices emphasize the importance of declaring aloud what you want to create. But it's not enough to speak mechanically. You need to feel it. You need to put emotion into it. You need to speak as if it were true, even if it isn't yet, especially if it isn't yet. Because that's exactly where the power of transformation lies, in your ability to believe in what you don't yet see, to feel what you don't yet have, to be who you aren't yet, but are becoming. But understand one thing, reprogramming the mind requires vigilance. Because old patterns try to return. They were created years ago. They are deeply rooted. They appear in the form of automatic thoughts, repetitive behaviors, and emotions that arise without warning. And that's why you need to be attentive. You need to identify the moment when you are repeating a scarcity pattern, and at that exact instant, make a different choice. That choice is reprogramming in action. Let's be practical about this. You're at the supermarket and you look at the price of something you want to buy. Immediately, the automatic thought comes, it's too expensive, I can't buy it. This is a scarcity pattern. At that exact moment, you have a choice. You can continue with the automatic pattern and reinforce it once again, or you can interrupt it and replace it with something like, I can choose whether I want to buy this or not. I have the power to decide where I invest my money. Do you see the difference? In the first case, you are a victim. In the second, you are the protagonist. Or you're on social media and you see someone showing off something they bought, some achievement, some trip. Immediately envy comes. The thought of that will never be for me. The feeling of inadequacy. Scarcity pattern. At that moment, choose differently. Stop, breathe, and say, that's great for that person. That shows me that it's possible. And if it's possible for someone, it's possible for me too. Reprogram yourself in real time. You'll notice that at first it seems tiring, but soon it starts to feel natural, because the brain loves patterns. And when you offer it a new pattern consistently, it abandons the old one. And here's a detail that few understand. The brain doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is intensely imagined. So if you visualize a rich, comfortable, safe life every day, with details, with emotion, with consistency, the brain understands that it is real. And it starts looking for ways to transform the imagined into the physical. This has been proven by neuroscience. Studies show that athletes who visualize their workouts activate the same brain regions that are activated during actual physical training. Pianists who only imagine playing a piece of music develop the same neural connections as pianists who practice physically. The brain responds to the imagined experience as if it were real. So when you sit down every day, close your eyes and vividly imagine your thriving life, not just seeing it, but feeling it, hearing it, smelling it, experiencing it emotionally. You are literally training your brain for that reality. You are creating the necessary neural connections. You are preparing your nervous system to operate at that level. And when the real opportunity arises, you are neurologically ready to seize it. Therefore, visualization is a powerful tool. It's not a waste of time. It's training the brain to accept a new normal. If you never imagine yourself living in abundance, your mind considers that this is not part of who you are. And if it's not part of you, it doesn't seek opportunities along that path. But if you practice this image every day, the brain understands that it needs to start acting in a way that is consistent with this new scenario. Here's a practical exercise. Set aside 10 minutes of your day. It can be in the morning right after waking up, when the brain is still in alpha frequency and more receptive, or at night before bed, when you can program your subconscious during sleep. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths to relax. Now begin to build the image of your prosperous life with as much detail as possible. What is your house like? Describe each room mentally. What is the texture of the furniture? What is the light like coming through the windows? What does it smell like? How do you feel walking through it? Now imagine opening your banking app. See your balance on the screen, a number that makes you feel calm, secure, happy. Feel the sense of relief, of gratitude. Imagine going to buy something you want without that tension in your chest, without worrying about whether you'll run out. Feel the freedom of that. Imagine helping someone you love financially and feeling pure joy without burden, without fear of planning a trip and choosing based on what you want to experience, not what fits within a tight budget. Build this reality with emotion, with details, with total presence. Do this religiously for 30 days and observe what changes in your external life. You need to understand that the mind operates through consistency. It doesn't sustain for long a behavior that contradicts identity. So if your identity is still tied to scarcity, you will sabotage yourself whenever you are about to prosper. But if your identity begins to align with wealth, you will naturally reject everything that distances you from it. Identity is who you believe yourself to be at the deepest level. It's not what you do, it's not what you have, it's who you are. And here's the secret: you can choose your identity. Most people don't know this. They think identity is something fixed, determined by genetics, upbringing, the past. But it's not. Identity is a story you tell yourself, and stories can be rewritten. If the story you tell yourself is, "I am someone who has always struggled with money," then you will unconsciously create situations that confirm that story, because the mind needs narrative coherence. But if you start telling a new story, "I am someone who is learning to thrive, who is becoming financially free, who deserves abundance," your mind will work to make that new story a reality. Therefore, the secret isn't about making more money. It's about becoming someone who feels comfortable with abundance, someone who sees themselves as deserving, someone who knows they don't need to sacrifice to have, someone who understands that money is a natural consequence of a well-trained mind. Think about the people you know who have money. Not necessarily a lot of money, but who live comfortably without that constant financial stress. Observe how they relate to money. They aren't afraid of it. They don't feel guilty about spending it. They don't panic when an unexpected expense arises. Why? Because internally they feel deserving. They feel capable. They trust that they will be able to handle whatever comes their way. This confidence didn't come from having money. The money came from having confidence. Cause and effect are reversed in most people's minds. They think, "When I have money, I'll feel secure." But the truth is, when you feel secure, you'll have money. Because inner security creates the energy that attracts outer security. And here's another truth that needs to be said. You don't need to be perfect to start thriving. You need to be genuine, honest with yourself, willing to observe yourself, to correct your course, to take responsibility, to stop blaming the government, your parents, your boss, the market, your childhood. None of these things have more power over your life than the thoughts you choose to nurture now. Yes, the government may be bad. Yes, the economy may be tough. Yes, your childhood may have been difficult. Yes, you may have had bad experiences with money. All of that is valid. But using that as an excuse not to change is condemning yourself to repeat the same pattern forever. Because as long as you place the power of change outside of yourself, you become powerless. But when you bring that power back inside, when you say, no matter what happened or is happening, I choose to change, you reclaim your power. And power isn't about controlling the external world. It's about mastering your inner world. It's about consciously choosing your thoughts instead of being a slave to them. It's about directing your emotions instead of being dragged along by them. It's about creating your reality from the inside out, instead of being a victim of external circumstances. From today onward, every time you think about money, think about it with respect, with tranquility, with gratitude. Mentally say, money, you are welcome in my life. Treat money as you would treat a dear friend, and stop feeding it negative energy. Money is not the villain of your story. It is a reflection of it. And if your story so far has been one of struggle, sacrifice, and scarcity, that's okay, because now you have the power to write a new chapter. And that chapter begins with a new thought, a new feeling, a new vibration. Writing a new chapter means that you acknowledge and honor what came before, but you don't define yourself by it. It means that you use the lessons of the past without getting stuck in it. It means that you understand that every moment is an opportunity to start over. And starting over doesn't require you to have everything figured out. It only requires you to take the next step from where you are. The next step can be small. It could be organizing your wallet. It could be making a simple budget. It could be stopping complaining about money for an entire day. It could be being grateful for every penny that comes in. It could be visualizing for 5 minutes. It could be choosing a better mindset about your finances. The size of the step doesn't matter. What matters is the direction. And the direction is always forward, always upward, always towards more awareness, more responsibility, more personal power. Money has a secret to tell you, and it only whispers this secret when you silence the voices of doubt, guilt, comparison, and haste. It speaks to those who listen with an open heart, and what it says is simple. I am the consequence. I am not the beginning. I arrive when you transform. This is the secret that changes everything. Because when you understand that money is a consequence, you stop desperately chasing it. You stop trying to force, manipulate, control it. You relax, and in relaxation, you open yourself. And in openness, you allow. And by allowing, you receive. Money doesn't come to those who desperately chase after it. It comes to those who prepare themselves internally, become a suitable vessel, and then wait with quiet confidence. It's like planting a seed. You don't dig up the seed every day to see if it has sprouted. You plant it, water it, ensure it gets sun, and trust the process. And one day, the plant appears, not because you forced it, but because you created the right conditions and allowed nature to do its work. It's the same with money. You create the right internal conditions, aligned thoughts, elevated emotions, empowering beliefs, consistent actions, and then you trust. Not a blind, passive trust, but an active trust that keeps doing its part while allowing the universe to do its part. And the universe is always full of surprises, because the universe has infinite resources and paths you could never imagine. When you try to control exactly how money will arrive, you limit the possibilities. But when you open yourself up, when you say, I am ready to receive abundance from whatever source is for my highest good, you release the universe to surprise you. And it will, in ways you never planned, through people you didn't expect, at times you didn't foresee. Your only responsibility is to stay aligned internally. It's about continuing to work on yourself. It's about continuing to reprogram your mind. It's about persisting in the new story you're telling yourself. It's about not giving up when the results take a little longer than you'd like, because they come. They always come. For those who remain steadfast, for those who don't back down, for those who decide there is no other option but transformation. And when the money starts to appear, and it will, don't be scared. Don't reject it. Don't sabotage yourself with thoughts like, this can't be happening to me, or when will the tide turn again? Receive it with gratitude, celebrate without guilt, and continue the process, because prosperity is not a final destination. It's a path of continuous expansion. And along this path, you will discover something beautiful, that true wealth isn't just in the money you have, it's in the person you've become in the process of attracting it. It's in the confidence you've developed, in the peace you've gained, in the clarity you've achieved, in the strength you've built. This is the wealth that no one can take away from you. This is the wealth that multiplies naturally. This is the wealth that transforms not only your life, but the lives of everyone around you. So start now, not tomorrow, not next Monday. Now, with a better thought, with a more conscious word, with a more aligned decision, because your life is happening now. And now you have the power to change it. The money is waiting. Abundance is available. Prosperity is within your reach. All that's missing is for you to give permission to receive it. And you give that permission by being who you truly are, someone worthy, capable, and deserving of all the riches that life has to offer. What do you believe to be true about money? Stop for a few seconds and reflect. Take your time. Close your eyes if necessary. What comes to mind when you hear the word money? What do you feel in your body when you think of someone very rich? What images arise? What feelings emerge? What judgments form automatically? These answers are precious because they reveal what you truly believe, not what you would like to believe. And that's the central point. The money you attract is always proportional to how you perceive it. This is a difficult truth to digest, because most people want to believe that money depends only on effort, intelligence, and external opportunities. And although these factors are important, they are secondary. The primary factor, what truly determines your financial reality, is the set of beliefs you hold about money. And the scariest thing is that you're probably not even aware of these beliefs. They operate silently behind the scenes of your mind, commanding your choices, your emotions, and your results. Take this test now for real. When you think of someone extremely wealthy, what's the first emotion that comes to mind? Is it genuine admiration? Is it curiosity about how they got there? Or is it envy, resentment, judgment? If it's the second option, you have a deep block. Because you can't attract what you secretly reject, you can't become what you unconsciously condemn. And as long as there's a part of you that believes wealthy people are morally questionable, you will unconsciously sabotage yourself every time you start to prosper. If you see money as something distant, difficult, unfair, dirty, corrupt, or dangerous, your mind automatically creates an invisible barrier to keep it away. Even if you say you want to get rich, even if you work hard, even if you fight every day. Because what determines the flow of money in your life isn't your effort. It's your relationship with it. And that relationship is built on beliefs, on memories, on interpretations of what you've seen, heard, or experienced. And these beliefs, even silent ones, control your reality. Think of your relationship with money literally as a relationship with a person. If you know someone and every time that person gets close you think, this person is dangerous, they're going to hurt me, I can't trust them, what happens? You distance yourself. You create distance. You build walls. And even if, on a superficial level, you say you want to be friends with that person, your behavior will reflect fear, distrust, and rejection, and the person will naturally distance themselves too. Money works exactly the same way. It perceives, not consciously but energetically, how you relate to it, and it responds accordingly. If you treat it with respect, gratitude, and trust, it circulates easily in your life. But if you treat it with fear, contempt, resentment, and guilt, it moves away. Not because it wants to punish you, but because energy always seeks resonance. And where there is no resonance, there is no attraction. The mind creates what it believes to be true, always. And if you believe that money doesn't bring happiness, your mind will strive to keep the two separate. If you believe that only those who deceive others become rich, your mind will sabotage any opportunity that could make you financially prosperous, because it wants to protect you. It thinks it's doing the right thing by keeping you away from what it believes to be bad. And that's why so many intelligent, capable, hardworking people fail to prosper. It's not a lack of talent, it's an excess of invisible blocks. Let's understand better how this works at a neurological level. Your brain has a system called the RAS, Reticular Activating System. This system acts as a filter that determines what you perceive and what you ignore in the reality around you. And do you know what programs this filter? Your beliefs. If you believe that it's difficult to make money, your RAS will filter your perception to show you only evidence that confirms this belief. You will notice all the difficulties, all the obstacles, all the failures, yours and others. and you will completely ignore the opportunities, the possibilities, the successes. It's like buying a red car and suddenly starting to see red cars everywhere. They were always there, but your brain didn't notice them because they weren't important to you. Now they are, so you see them. It's the same with money. If you believe in scarcity, your brain will show you a scarce world. If you believe in abundance, your brain will show you an abundant world. Same reality. Completely different perceptions. And you act based on what you perceive, not on what objectively exists. These blocks are not your fault. They were created throughout your life by family, school, religion, society. Phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees. It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. Those who have a lot of money have always stepped on someone. Money changes people, and so many others were repeated so frequently that they became internal truths. And everything the mind considers true, it treats as law. And if it's law, it will protect you from breaking it, even if it means living in scarcity. Think about how many times as a child you heard phrases like that. You were absorbing everything without critical filtering, without the ability to question. Your parents said it, so it must be true. Your teacher said it, so it must be correct. The priest or pastor affirmed it, so it must be sacred. And you, like a sponge, absorbed it all. You created a mental map of how the world works. And this map included a specific territory called money, marked with red flags of danger, with do not enter signs, with electrified fences of guilt. And the saddest thing is that many of the people who taught you this were also poor. They passed on their own limitations as if they were wisdom. They transmitted their own fears as if they were prudence. And you, unknowingly, accepted the scarcity programming as if it were a survival manual. But it wasn't. It was just the limited perspective of people who never managed to transcend their own limiting beliefs. Your first step is to question these internal laws. Ask yourself honestly, where does this idea I have about money come from? Who taught me this? Was this person rich? Does this idea bring me closer to or further away from the life I want? This simple exercise already begins to weaken the blocks, because when you question a belief, it loses power. It ceases to be automatic. And everything that comes out of the automatic can be transformed. Let's do this practically now. Take paper and pen, yes, physically, not just mentally. Write at the top of the page, my beliefs about money. Now list everything that comes to mind. Don't censor, don't judge, just write. Money is hard to get. Rich people are arrogant. I'll never be rich because I didn't study at a good school. Money ruins friendships. Those who have money live stressed lives. I wasn't born to be rich. Everything, put it on paper. Now next to each belief write, where did this come from? Who said this first? When did you start believing this? Was it a specific experience? Was it something you were taught? Was it a conclusion you drew by observing others? This tracking process is already transformative because you begin to see that these truths are not universal truths. They are merely interpretations, and interpretations can be changed. Say this out loud now. I am free to think differently about money. This phrase, however simple it may seem, opens a new door in your mind. A door that leads to a reality where you are allowed to prosper without guilt, without fear, without burden. Because the truth is that you can become wealthy by being honest. You can earn money doing what you love. You can live comfortably without losing your essence. You can be rich and generous at the same time. But for that, you first need to deconstruct the idea that there is something wrong with wealth. This deconstruction is a process. It doesn't happen all at once. You will take each limiting belief and consciously replace it with an empowering belief. For example, if you believe that money doesn't bring happiness, ask yourself, is it money that doesn't bring happiness? Or is it a person's character that determines whether they will be happy? Do you know poor and unhappy people? Do you know rich and happy people? So the variable isn't money, it's the person. Replace that belief with something like, money is a neutral tool that can be used to create happiness when it's in the hands of a conscious person. See how that completely changes the energy. In the first version, money is the problem. In the second, money is a possibility. And your mind responds to possibilities in a completely different way than it responds to problems. Wealth, in fact, only enhances who you already are. If you are selfish, money will increase your selfishness. If you are generous, Money will increase your generosity. It doesn't transform you. It only amplifies it. So when you say you don't want to have a lot of money so you don't become a bad person, what you're saying without realizing it is that you already consider yourself bad. Because if you believe you're a good person, wealth will only give you more tools to do good. More time, more freedom, more resources, more reach. This is profound. Think about it for a moment. If you're afraid of having money because you think it will corrupt you, you're admitting that your integrity is fragile, that your values are negotiable, that your essence can be bought. But if you know deep down that you are an honest, kind-hearted person with solid values, then no amount of money can change that. Money will only amplify your ability to live according to those values. Think of someone you admire who has money. It could be someone famous or someone you know personally. Has this person become bad because they have money? Or do they use money to do good things, to take care of their family, to employ people, to donate to important causes, to invest in projects that benefit the community? Money hasn't corrupted them. It has only given them more power to act. And that changes everything because you stop seeing money as a danger and start seeing it as an amplifier, an accelerator of purpose, a facilitator of dreams, a multiplier of impact. Money, when well directed, transforms lives. It heals, it educates, it liberates, it sustains. And when you understand this, you feel proud to want more. Not out of greed, but out of awareness. The awareness that the more you have, the more you can contribute. There is a fundamental difference between greed and healthy ambition. Greed is wanting to accumulate for the sake of accumulating, without purpose, without generosity, just for the pleasure of having more than others. Healthy ambition is wanting to grow so you can do more, be more, contribute more. It's about wanting to expand your capacity for positive impact in the world. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's one of the noblest things you can do. Imagine if all the good people in the world decided to be poor. Imagine if all the conscious, ethical, generous people chose to live in scarcity. What would happen? Money would be concentrated only in the hands of greedy, selfish, unscrupulous people, and the world would be a much worse place. But when good people prosper, money is used to create beauty, goodness, justice, opportunity. So prospering is not only legitimate, it's necessary. And here's the crucial point. The universe entrusts resources to those who have clarity about what they will do with them. If you still feel lost, directionless, without a clear purpose, money will hardly flow strongly. Because money needs a destination. It needs to know where it's going. It doesn't like uncertainty, doubt, or confusion. It loves clarity, it loves purpose, it loves objective. Think of money as water. If you have a bucket with holes, full of cracks, without a defined bottom, the water will leak out. No matter how much water you pour in, it won't stay. But if you have a solid, well-structured container with a clear purpose, this water will water my garden. This water will quench my thirst. This water will wash my clothes. The water stays. And it can be used efficiently. Many people are like leaky buckets. They don't know why they want money beyond to pay bills or to avoid hardship. This is scarcity disguised as a purpose. It's not a purpose that inspires. It's not a vision that motivates. It's just survival. And the universe doesn't mobilize its infinite resources for mere survival. It mobilizes them for creation, for expansion, for contribution. So a simple practice you can start today is to define in detail what you will do with the money you want to attract. Not just paying bills. That's the basics. Think beyond that. How will you use the money to improve your life, to help other people, to expand your experiences, to contribute to causes that touch your heart? Write it down, read it every day. Feel yourself already living that reality. This is one of the most powerful secrets to accelerating financial flow. Be specific. Don't just write, "I want to help people." Write, "When I have financial abundance, I will sponsor the studies of 3 children from underprivileged communities each year. I will donate monthly to an animal shelter. I will move my mother out of her rented house and buy her a property. I will travel to places I've always dreamed of visiting and document these trips to inspire others to dream as well. I will invest in courses and mentorships to continue growing. I will create an emergency fund that gives me absolute peace of mind." See how this is different from, "I want money so I don't have problems." In the first case, you are creating a vibrant future, full of meaning, with real impact. In the second, You are just trying to avoid pain, and the universe responds much more intensely to inspiring visions than to attempts to escape. And always repeat, I am a good destination for money. This affirmation changes everything, because it communicates to the universe that you are ready, that you have structure, that you have clarity, and the universe responds to those who are prepared. Always. The question is, are you? Being prepared doesn't mean being perfect. It doesn't mean having everything figured out. It doesn't mean never having doubts. It means having done the inner work of clearing your blockages, aligning your beliefs, defining your purpose, and creating the emotional and mental structure to sustain abundance. It means you won't sabotage yourself when the money starts coming in, that you won't waste it due to lack of direction, that you won't reject it out of unconscious guilt. If you've gotten this far, something inside you is saying yes, that you're ready to think differently, to open yourself to a new way of living, to abandon the old ideas that have kept you stuck, to take the lead in your financial life. And that's the real turning point, the decision to stop shifting blame and start taking control. Taking control means recognizing that you have power, not over external circumstances, those you don't completely control, but over your internal responses, over your thoughts, over your beliefs, over your choices. And this power, when exercised consciously, is enough to completely transform your financial reality. You don't need anyone's permission to change your beliefs. You don't need your family's approval to think differently about money. You don't need everyone around you to understand your journey. You only need your own courage to question what you've always accepted as truth and consciously choose what you want to believe from now on. From now on, every time a limiting belief appears, you will say, "This idea no longer serves me." You will take a deep breath. You will replace it with a new phrase, more coherent with the reality you want to build. You will write it down. You will repeat it. You will visualize it. You will feel it. You will practice it. Because the mind learns through use. And the more you use the new path, the stronger it becomes. And the more life aligns with it. This is a daily commitment. It's not something you do once and that's it. It's a constant practice of mental vigilance, conscious choice, and active reprogramming. Some days it will be easy. Other days it will be difficult. Some days you will feel like you are making enormous progress. Other days it will seem like you're back to square one. But if you persist, if you don't give up, if you keep choosing the new path even when it's challenging, eventually the new path becomes the default. And when it becomes the norm, you don't even need to think about it anymore. You automatically think prosperous thoughts. You naturally make choices aligned with abundance. You instinctively reject what kept you in scarcity. And money, perceiving this profound change, this genuine transformation, begins to flow with an ease that will surprise you. It won't happen overnight. Real transformation takes time, but it will happen, step by step, belief by belief, thought by thought, choice by choice. And one day you will look back and realize how much you've changed, how much you've grown, how much you've freed yourself from the invisible shackles that held you back, and you will be grateful for having had the courage to begin this journey. Money has a secret to tell you, and it's saying, I am a reflection of your strongest belief. What is yours? This is the question you need to answer with absolute honesty. Because until you answer it, until you truly identify the dominant belief that is driving your financial reality, you cannot change it. You can only change what you can see. So look deeply, look without fear, look with curiosity, not judgment. And when you identify that belief, when you finally see the invisible blockage, you will feel relief, because you finally understand why your financial life is the way it is. It's not bad luck. It's not the universe against you. It's not a lack of talent. It's simply a belief that can be transformed. And if it can be transformed, then there is hope. Then there is possibility. Then there is a way. And this journey begins now, with the decision that your old beliefs about money will no longer control your life, with the conscious choice to plant new, more empowering beliefs, more aligned with who you want to be and the life you want to live, with the commitment to do this inner work, however difficult it may be, because you know that on the other side lies the financial freedom you have always desired. The mirror is in front of you, and it's showing you exactly what you believe. If you don't like the reflection, don't break the mirror. change the image, change your beliefs, change your thoughts, change your relationship with money, and the reflection will inevitably change too, because that's how it works. It always has been. It always will be. The choice is yours. And it always has been. Money doesn't reach those who need it most. It reaches those who are most aligned. This statement seems unfair to many, but when you observe carefully, you understand that reality doesn't respond to despair, but to frequency. It's not suffering that attracts wealth, it's the mental state. And this doesn't mean that people who suffer don't deserve it. It only means that, within the invisible rules that govern the flow of money, the dominant emotion determines the direction of the energy. This truth is unsettling because it challenges our vision of justice. We want to believe that the more someone needs, the more they should receive. That the universe should reward effort, sacrifice, and struggle. But the universe doesn't operate on human compassion. It operates on energetic laws. And the fundamental law is, you attract what you resonate with, not what you need, not what you morally deserve, but what you consistently vibrate with. This seems cruel at first glance, but it's actually liberating. Because if money only reached those who need it most, you would be a hostage to external forces. But since it reaches those who align themselves with it, you have control. You can change your frequency. You can adjust your vibration. You can consciously put yourself in the path of financial flow, and that is power. Real power. Power that no one can take away from you. If you spend the whole day saying you need money, but spend the same entire day vibrating with scarcity, fear, and tension, the message you're sending isn't one of abundance, it's one of lack. And the universe, obedient as always, responds with more lack. Because it doesn't interpret your words, it responds to your vibrational field. It's not impressed by how much you're striving, it observes how much you're allowing. Let's understand this in more depth. The universe functions like a sophisticated mirror, but not a mirror that reflects images, a mirror that reflects energetic states. When you are in a state of desperate need, what you are vibrating is, I don't have, I need, I am lacking. And the universe, which is neutral and impersonal like a mirror, simply reflects back. More situations of not having, more need, more lack. You can shout, I need money 1,000 times a day. But if every time you shout it, your body is tense, your heart is tight, your mind is panicking, you are sending a clear energetic signal, scarcity. And scarcity attracts scarcity. It's universal mathematics. It's quantum physics applied to everyday life. It's the law of attraction working exactly as it should, reflecting back to you what you are emanating. This isn't a lack of empathy from the universe, it's how it was designed to function. And once you understand that, you stop fighting reality and start working with it. You stop demanding that the universe function according to your ideas of justice and start operating according to the laws that truly govern manifestation. Allowing is more powerful than forcing. When you allow money to come without anxiety, without doubt, without despair, it finds a free space to manifest. But when you try to force money in with haste, lack of control, and attachment, the field closes, the energy blocks, and everything seems more difficult, not because the money disappeared, but because you blocked its passage with your own resistance. Imagine trying to thread a needle. If you're relaxed with a steady hand, the thread goes in smoothly. But if you're nervous, anxious, desperate, your hand trembles. And the more you try to force it, the harder it gets. The thread hasn't changed, the needle hasn't changed, but your state has changed. And that state makes all the difference between ease and difficulty. It's exactly the same with money. Money is always available in the universe, there is infinite abundance. But your ability to access that abundance depends on your inner state. If you are relaxed, confident, open, money flows to you naturally. But if you are contracted, desperate, closed off, you create an energetic resistance that prevents the flow. And then you work twice, 3 times as hard to achieve half the result you would achieve if you were in a state of allowing. Permission is not passivity. It's not sitting and waiting for money to fall from the sky without doing anything. Permission is a state of active openness. It's about doing your part, working, acting, creating value, but without that suffocating tension that blocks the flow. It's about acting from confidence, not fear. It's about building from possibility, not scarcity. You need to start recognizing the moments when you're vibrating against what you say you want. These are subtle but important moments. When you complain about a bill, when you speak ill of those who earn well, when you think that will never happen to me, when you bitterly compare your life to others, in those moments, even if only for a few seconds, your mind closes the doors to abundance. These moments are like small energetic betrayals. You say you want prosperity, but then you spend minutes, sometimes hours, vibrating against it. It's like planting flowers in the morning and pulling up the seeds in the afternoon. You're working against yourself, and the universe gets confused with mixed signals. Does he want it or not? Because he says he wants it, but acts like he rejects it. Pay attention to your inner dialogue today. How many times have you thought negatively about money? How many times have you looked at someone successful with envy or judgment? How many times have you seen an opportunity, but then immediately thought, this isn't for me? How many times have you complained about something financial? Add up all those moments. Now compare that to how many moments you spent thinking positively about money, feeling gratitude, visualizing abundance, celebrating the achievements of others. If the balance tips more to the negative side, you've discovered why your financial situation isn't improving. It's not because the universe doesn't love you. It's not because you don't deserve it. It's simply because you're sending more signals of rejection than acceptance. And the universe, being a perfect mirror, is giving you exactly what you ask for through your dominant vibration. The mind is like a radio. It tunes in and attracts what is on the same frequency. And money has a well-defined station. It vibrates at the frequency of lightness, clarity, appreciation, permission, and trust. If you want to hear the music of prosperity, you need to tune in to the right station. And the change in frequency begins with thought, passes through feeling, and is consolidated in attitude. Let's make this more concrete. Imagine the full spectrum of emotional frequencies as a scale ranging from 0 to 1000. At the lowest level, around 2030, you have emotions like shame, guilt, and depression. In the middle, around 250, you have neutrality. And at the top, above 500, you have emotions like love, joy, peace, and gratitude. Money vibrates consistently above 400, in the range of confidence, acceptance, and enthusiasm. Now think about where you spend most of your emotional time. If you are constantly in fear, 100, anxiety, 120, anger, 150, you are vibrating far below the frequency of money. It's like trying to pick up FM radio on a receiver that only picks up AM. It simply doesn't work. You may be transmitting a request, but you're on the wrong frequency to receive the response. So the question isn't, why isn't the money coming in? The question is, how often am I trading most of the time? And the answer to that question tells you everything you need to know about your financial reality. A powerful attitude is to stop feeding thoughts like, I can't. This is too difficult. It never works for me. Replace them with affirmations that move you forward. I am learning to thrive. Every day I feel more prepared. Money is coming more easily. Even if you don't yet see visible results, speak as if you are already living it, because that's how you change your internal programming. This isn't self-deception, it's intentional reprogramming. You are consciously choosing which thoughts you will nurture and which you will let starve. Because thoughts are like plants. The ones you water grow, the ones you ignore wither, and you have a choice about which ones to water. Every time you catch yourself thinking, I can't, you have an opportunity to interrupt that pattern. Stop, breathe, and consciously say, cancelled. I choose to think differently. I am capable of learning and growing. At first, it will seem false. It will seem like you are lying to yourself, but you are not. You are simply choosing a different interpretation of reality. And that interpretation, when consistently repeated, becomes your new reality. Now imagine an invisible antenna coming out of your head and transmitting signals to the universe. This antenna emits exactly what you think and feel most strongly. If you are vibrating fear, that's what the antenna sends. If you are vibrating confidence, that's what the universe receives. There's no way to fool it. The signal is clear, and it determines what you receive back. This antenna is real, not in a physical sense, but in an energetic sense. You are constantly emitting a vibrational signature, and this signature is picked up by the quantum field around you. And the field responds by organizing situations, people, and circumstances that correspond to your signature. not by magic, but by resonance. When you vibrate with fear, you make decisions based on fear. You see the world through the lens of fear. You attract or at least perceive more situations that confirm your fear. And this creates a self-reinforcing cycle. But when you begin to vibrate with confidence, your entire perception and decision-making system changes. You see opportunities that were previously invisible. You take calculated risks that previously seemed impossible. You interact with people differently, and the result is a completely different external reality. Say this now with conviction. I am tuning my antenna to the frequency of wealth. Say it again, feel it. The more you reinforce it, the more your mind understands that there is a new command in action. And over time, this command becomes natural. That's how change happens. Through conscious repetition until it becomes instinct. Repetition is the mother of mastery. You don't learn to ride a bicycle by trying once. You fall, get up, try again, fall again, until one day you don't fall anymore. And after that, riding a bicycle is automatic. You don't even think about it, your body knows. It's the same with mental reprogramming. In the beginning, it's conscious effort. You need to remember, you need to monitor yourself, you need to actively choose. But with repetition, what was effort becomes natural, and what is natural becomes your new standard reality. But be warned, this repetition only has power if it's done with feeling. It's no use repeating positive phrases with a closed heart, a tense body, and a conflicted mind. You need to feel what you're saying. You need to give life to the words. It's the feeling that activates the frequency. Without it, the words are empty. And the universe doesn't respond to emptiness. It responds to living vibration. So when you say, I'm tuning my antenna to the frequency of wealth, don't just say it mechanically. Feel what it means. Literally imagine an antenna on your head adjusting, rotating, finding the right signal. Feel the sensation of when you finally tune a radio station perfectly, that moment when the static disappears and the music starts playing clearly. Bring that feeling to your body, to your chest, to your heart, let it spread. It is the feeling that sends the strongest signal to the universe. You can say, I am rich 1,000 times, but if while saying it you feel panic, fear, insecurity, the emotional signal will cancel out the verbal signal. Because emotion is energy in motion, emotion. And energy in motion is what creates reality. Words without emotion are just sound, but words with emotion are spells. They are commands. They are decrees that the universe cannot ignore. That's why gratitude is so powerful. Because it combines thought, emotion, and attitude into a single vibration. When you are truly grateful, your entire field is elevated. Be grateful for what you have, for what is coming, for what hasn't even arrived yet, but that you already consider certain. This changes everything, because it transforms you into someone who recognizes the flow of abundance, and those who recognize it attract more. Gratitude is the highest frequency you can consistently reach. Pure love is higher, but it's difficult to maintain constantly. But gratitude is accessible. You can always find something to be grateful for, and every time you sincerely give thanks, you rise on the vibrational scale. You get closer to the frequency of money, health, harmonious relationships, of everything that is good. Try this now. Stop for a moment and think of 3 things you are genuinely grateful for. They can be small. You have eyes to read this. You have a beating heart. You have a place to sleep tonight. Feel real gratitude for each one. Don't just think I'm grateful. Feel it in your chest. Let it warm. Let it expand. Notice how your body relaxes, how your mind clears, how everything feels lighter. That's the frequency of abundance, and you've just accessed it. Gratitude is like a light shining in the darkness. It shows the universe that you already perceive the richness around you, even if it's still small. And the universe, upon perceiving this, increases the intensity of what you value. What you appreciate multiplies. What you ignore dissolves. It's that simple. This is a universal law that works without exception. Focus on problems, and problems multiply. Focus on possibilities, and possibilities appear. Focus on what's wrong in your life, and more wrong things will happen. Focus on what's right, even if it's small, and right things will increase. This isn't naive, positive thinking. It's conscious direction of attention. And attention is energy. And energy creates form. If you spend the whole day staring at your debts with anguish, you're putting all your energy into them. And debts will grow, or at least appear to grow, because you're amplifying them with your attention. But if you look at your debts, acknowledging them objectively, but then quickly shift your attention to possible solutions, to small financial wins, to any positive cash flow that exists, even if it's a discount at the supermarket, you're amplifying the positive. Change your focus. Instead of thinking about what's missing, start valuing what already exists, even if it's little, even if it's not yet ideal. If today you only have one coin, look at it as you would look at a seed, not as you would look at the end, because a seed carries all the potential of the forest, and the mind that sees value in little is ready to receive much. This is profoundly important. Most people look at the little they have with disdain, shame, and anger. Is this all I have? This is nothing. And in doing so, they are saying to the universe, what you give me has no value. It's not enough. I don't pay attention to it. And the universe, hearing this, stops sending more. Because why would it send more to someone who doesn't value what they already receive? But when you look at the little you receive with gratitude, with recognition, with the awareness that this is only the beginning, you are saying, I see the value in this. I appreciate this. I take care of this. I am ready for more. And the universe, hearing this, says, this person recognizes abundance. They value what they receive. They take good care of it. I will send them more. And when you begin to live in this state of allowing, something extraordinary happens. Opportunities begin to arise. New people appear. Different ideas sprout. Unexpected solutions reveal themselves. It's not coincidence, it's harmony. It's the universe saying, now you are ready, and it delivers. You'll start noticing interesting coincidences. You think of someone and they call you. You need specific information, and someone mentions exactly that in a casual conversation. You're looking for an opportunity, and it appears unexpectedly. These aren't coincidences, they're synchronicities. They're evidence that you're aligned with the universal flow. They're signs that your frequency is correct. And every time you notice these synchronicities, be grateful. Acknowledge them, celebrate them internally, because this further strengthens the alignment. It tells the universe, I'm paying attention, I'm receiving your messages, I'm following the clues. And the universe responds by sending more clues, more opportunities, more synchronicities. Therefore, abandon the habit of complaining. Abandon the victim mentality. Abandon the discourse that everything is difficult. All of that is weight, and weight doesn't combine with flow. Money likes lightness, clarity, direction, purpose, and it flows to where it feels it will be valued, cared for, and used consciously. Complaining is one of the lowest frequencies that exist. Each complaint is like taking weight and putting it on your back. One complaint, 2, 3, 10 a day. At the end of the day, you are carrying so much emotional weight that you can't move. And if you can't move, how will you achieve your goals? How will you seize opportunities? How will you get ahead in life? But when you stop complaining, when you consciously transform each impulse to complain into a neutral observation, or, even better, into a search for a solution, you release weight. You become lighter, and in lightness everything flows. You think better, you act better, you attract better, you live better. Speak now in a firm voice. Money, I am ready to receive you. I open myself to the lightness of prosperity, and feel this like a key turning inside you, as if a new door were being unlocked. This door is internal. It is the door of permission, and once opened, it will never close again, as long as you choose to maintain a high vibration. Physically feel this door opening. Where is it in your body? For many people, it's in the chest, for others in the solar plexus, for still others at the base of the spine. Wherever you feel this door, imagine it opening now. Imagine light entering through it. Golden, bright, warm light. This light is the energy of abundance. Let it fill you completely. And while you do this, take a deep breath, because breath is life, it's flow. And you are inviting the flow of finances into your life through your conscious breathing. Inhale abundance. Exhale scarcity. Inhale possibility. Exhale limitation. Inhale confidence. Exhale fear. Do this a few times until you feel a real change in your state. You don't need to control how the money will arrive or when. Your only function is to keep the field clear, your heart light, your mind open, your feelings elevated. The rest is a consequence. Try to control how money comes to you, and you will frustrate the universe, because the universe has infinite ways to deliver abundance, but you, with your limited mind, can only imagine 2 or 3. And if you get fixated on those 2 or 3 ways, you will miss the other 997 ways the universe is trying to use to deliver what you ask for. Your role is not to control, it's to allow, it's to trust, it's to stay aligned, and to let the universe, with its infinite intelligence, decide the best way, the best time, the best path to deliver your abundance. Because it knows things you don't know. It sees connections you don't see. It orchestrates complex situations involving hundreds of people to put you in the right place at the right time. But he can only do that if you let go of control, if you relax, if you trust, if you open yourself up to pleasant surprises. If you say, I am ready to receive in whatever way is for my highest good, money has a secret to tell you, and it whispers, when you feel good, I come closer. This is the ultimate secret, the simplest and the most profound. When you feel good, genuinely good, not pretending, not forcing, but truly in a state of well-being, money flows. When you are at peace, when you are light, when you are confident, when you are grateful, money finds you easily. Not because you are happy despite a lack of money, but because your happiness, your peace, your lightness are the frequency that attracts money. So stop postponing your happiness until you have money. Choose to be happy now. Choose to feel good now. Find reasons to smile, to be grateful, to celebrate today, and watch how mysteriously the money begins to appear, not in an instant magical way, but consistently and increasingly, because you finally understood the code. You finally tuned into the right frequency. And at that frequency, abundance is not a struggle. It's a natural state of being. There's something almost no one has taught you. Money isn't attracted to your need, it's attracted to your identity. And that completely changes the way you think about prosperity. Because as long as you think you need to convince money to come to you because of your difficult situation, your struggle, your story of overcoming adversity, it will remain distant. Money doesn't respond to pity. It responds to clarity. It's not moved by compassion, it's moved by consistency. This is perhaps the hardest truth to accept about prosperity, because we have been conditioned to believe that effort, suffering, and desperate dedication are what deserve reward. That if you work hard enough, if you need enough, if you fight enough, the universe will take pity on you and give you what you need. But the universe doesn't work through compassion. It works through correspondence. It works through resonance. It works through energetic identity. Identity isn't what you do. It's not your job, your profession, your title. Identity is who you believe you are at the deepest level. It's the set of beliefs, values, patterns, and behaviors that define you when no one is watching. It's how you feel about yourself when you're alone in the dark. It's the story you tell yourself about who you are and what you deserve. If your internal identity is that of someone poor, struggling, always in dire straits, never having enough, having to work excessively to achieve little, then no matter how much money falls into your hands, you will unconsciously get rid of it to return to the state that your identity considers normal, because the mind does not tolerate dissonance between identity and reality for very long. It will always work to align your external reality with your internal identity. Think about it. How many times have you said, I really need money, and yet nothing changed? Now, how many times have you been calm, without anxiety, confident, and out of nowhere a solution appeared, unexpected help, money you weren't even counting on? This isn't magic, this is frequency. The vibration of tranquility is much more attractive than that of despair, because it demonstrates confidence, and confidence communicates to the universe that you are aligned with what you desire. Stop and honestly reflect on this. Think about the times when money appeared in your life in unexpected ways. How were you feeling at those times? It's quite likely you weren't panicking. You were probably in a state of relative peace, acceptance, perhaps even joy for other reasons. And it was in that state that money managed to find you. Now think about those times when you were completely desperate, waking up in the middle of the night thinking about bills, with that tightness in your chest, your mind spinning in circles searching for solutions. Did the money appear in those moments? Probably not, because desperation is a vibration of contraction. It's you closing yourself off energetically. It's like clenching your fists tightly trying to hold sand. The more you squeeze, the more escapes. But tranquility is expansion. It's you opening your hands and allowing abundance to naturally deposit itself into them. It's you trusting that the universe is working in your favor, even when you don't see immediate evidence. And this trust is not naivete. It's spiritual maturity. It's understanding how the game works and playing by the real rules, not the rules you wish existed. So if money reflects your identity, what does that mean in practice? It means you need to transform yourself into someone who feels comfortable being prosperous, someone who doesn't see a problem with having money, someone who doesn't feel guilty for wanting more, someone who knows how to manage what they have and prepares for what's to come. That's identity, and that's what the universe responds to. It observes the coherence between what you say you want and what you demonstrate to be. Let's make this very practical. How do you feel when you imagine having a lot of money? Really, how do you feel? Joyful, relieved, excited, or uncomfortable, guilty, like you don't deserve it, like it's wrong, like people are going to judge you? These answers reveal your current identity in relation to wealth. If you feel uncomfortable imagining yourself as wealthy, your current identity is not compatible with wealth. And as long as it isn't, you will sabotage every attempt to get rich. You will make bad choices. You will miss opportunities. You will spend impulsively. You will get involved in bad deals, all unconsciously designed to keep you at the income level that your identity considers appropriate. But if you can imagine yourself wealthy and feel peace, joy, gratitude, and healthy excitement, your identity is expanding. And as it expands internally, your external reality will eventually expand as well. It can't be any other way. It's a universal law. Many people want to prosper, but maintain a victim mentality. They constantly complain that the system doesn't help, that the government doesn't cooperate, that the market is tough. They portray themselves as someone who needs saving. But the truth is, money doesn't save anyone. It only amplifies what you've already built internally. And if inside you are weak, resentful, insecure, lost, money will only worsen that. But if inside you are strong, confident, disciplined, grateful, money will amplify all of that. The victim identity is one of the most destructive that exists, and it's also one of the most common because it's comfortable, because it absolves you of responsibility, because it means it's not your fault, so you don't need to change anything. The problem is out there, in the government, in the economy, in society, in luck, in fate. And as long as the problem is out there, you have no power. You can only hope that things will change externally. But when you switch from the identity of victim to the identity of creator, everything changes. The creator recognizes that, although there are external circumstances beyond their control, they have complete control over their internal responses, over how they interpret situations, over the meaning they attribute to events, over the actions they choose to take. And this internal control is enough to create a completely different external reality. The victim says, "Things aren't working out for me." The creator says, "What can I do differently to get a different result?" Do you see the difference? One attitude leaves you powerless, the other empowers you, and money always chooses power over powerlessness. Because money is the energy of action, of movement, of creation, and that only exists where there is personal power. The change begins when you ask yourself, what kind of person attracts the money I desire? And the answer is never someone desperate, negative, anxious, or confused. The answer is always someone calm, sure of what they want, who takes care of what they have, who respects money, who speaks well of it, who sees it as a tool for expansion. So instead of chasing money, start chasing becoming that person. Because money chases after those who behave like that. This completely reverses the game. Instead of chasing money, which always creates energy of lack, need, and desperation, you become attractive to money. You become a magnet. And magnets don't chase. They are simply magnetic, and things come to them. So how do you become that person? You start by acting as if. You start by behaving as a prosperous person would behave. Not spending money you don't have. But thinking, feeling, deciding as a prosperous person would think, feel, and decide. How does a prosperous person treat their current money? With respect, with organization, with gratitude. How does a prosperous person talk about money? With lightness, with neutrality, with intelligence. How does a prosperous person approach opportunities? With discernment, but also with calculated courage. You can start incorporating these characteristics now, regardless of how much money you have. And as you incorporate them, your identity begins to change. And as your identity changes, your actions change. And as your actions change, your results change. It's a virtuous, self-reinforcing cycle. And if you stop to observe, the signs are everywhere. Money always leaves clues as to where it wants to be. Look at the people who keep money the longest. They are the ones who have clarity, who know where they are going to use it, who don't live for it, but who use it wisely. Money likes direction, purpose. It doesn't stay where there is confusion. And that's why so many people keep saying that money slips through their fingers like water, because there is no container prepared to hold it. Observe the people around you who are financially stable. Not necessarily rich, but stable. What do they have in common? They generally have clarity about their finances. They know how much they earn, how much they spend, how much they save. They have plans. They have goals. They have clear priorities. They don't buy on impulse. They don't live to impress others. They have a mature and conscious relationship with money. Now observe the people who are always in financial trouble, regardless of how much they earn. What do they have in common? Usually there's confusion. They don't know exactly where their money goes. They don't have clear plans. They spend impulsively. They use money to fill emotional voids. They live trying to keep up appearances. They have a childish and reactive relationship with money. The difference isn't in the amount of money these people earn. Often, people in the second group earn more than people in the first. The difference lies in identity, in the level of financial maturity, in the clarity of purpose, in the ability to hold and manage resources. If you want to attract more, you need to expand your capacity to retain. And that requires emotional responsibility. It requires maturity. It requires discipline. And many people want the results of prosperity, but they don't want the process of building that identity. They want the comfort of money, but they don't want to give up the habits that generate scarcity. But there is no harvest without planting. There is no reward without inner change. Emotional responsibility means that you don't use money, or the lack thereof, as an excuse to avoid dealing with your inner problems. It means that you recognize when you are buying things to compensate for sadness, loneliness, or frustration. It means that you understand that no amount of money will fill an existential void. It means that you work on yourself while you work on your money. Maturity means delaying gratification when necessary. It means making difficult short-term choices for better long-term results. It means not being a slave to impulses. It means having a vision that goes beyond, "I want this now." Discipline means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It means keeping commitments to yourself. It means not negotiating with the weak version of yourself that wants to give up every time things get difficult. It means consistency, persistence, resilience. These qualities are not innate. They are built, day after day, choice after choice. And each time you exercise one of them, you strengthen your thriving identity. Say this now with conviction. I am becoming a person compatible with wealth. Say it as if you are signing a new contract with life. Because, in fact, that's what you're doing. You are exchanging a reactive mindset for a proactive one. You are ceasing to wait and starting to build. And this building is not noisy, it's silent. It happens in the details, in what you think, in what you feel, in what you believe, in what you allow. Note that the statement is, "I am becoming," not, "I already am." This is important because you are in process, and process requires honesty about where you are. You don't need to pretend you are already someone you're not yet, but you also don't need to be stuck in who you were. You are transforming, evolving, expanding, and that's the perfect attitude. I am becoming acknowledges that there is work to be done, but also celebrates that you are on the path, that you are no longer stagnant. That movement is happening, and the universe loves movement. It doesn't expect perfection, it responds to progress. With each daily choice, you strengthen or weaken your new identity. When you choose not to complain, you strengthen it. When you choose to be grateful, you strengthen it. When you choose to organize your money, you strengthen it. When you choose to study, listen, reflect, and apply, you are positioning yourself as someone who knows what they want. And the universe responds to this kind of positioning with open doors, connections, ideas, and opportunities. Every little choice counts. Every thought you choose to nurture or reject. Every word you choose to say or not say. Every action you choose to take or not take. All of this is constantly shaping your identity. You are like an artist sculpting a statue. Every hammer blow matters, every detail counts, and eventually the masterpiece emerges. Think about how many micro-choices you make each day. Hundreds, thousands perhaps. Each one is an opportunity to strengthen your new identity or revert to the old one. You see a bill, and your first impulse is to complain. But then you remember, breathe, and choose to be grateful for having the resources to pay it. That's empowerment. You see someone successful and feel envy rising, but then you consciously transform that into admiration and curiosity. That's empowerment. Each time you consciously choose the new identity over the old one, you become stronger. Conscious choices become easier, and eventually what was conscious effort becomes automatic. The new identity becomes your default identity. And when that happens, you don't even need to think about thriving anymore. You simply live prosperously because that's who you are. But if you choose to continue on autopilot, repeating old stories, surrounding yourself with negative people, giving in to doubt, haste, envy, you are telling the universe that you are not yet ready. And that's okay. The universe doesn't judge. It only responds. You receive according to your inner readiness. And the good news is that you can change that at any time. You just have to decide, and then maintain that decision with consistent actions. The universe is patient. It will wait as long as necessary, but it also won't give you what you're not ready to receive, because that would be harmful. It would be like giving the keys to a race car to someone who has never driven. The person will probably get hurt, not because the car is bad, but because they are not prepared. So when it seems like the universe is denying you abundance, it's often just waiting for you to prepare, for you to grow, for you to develop the ability to manage what you're asking for. And the faster you prepare, the faster you receive. An important point here is patience. Many people begin the transformation process with enthusiasm, but soon become frustrated because the results don't appear immediately. And then they give up. They revert to the old pattern. They say, this doesn't work. But the truth is that prosperity isn't rushed. It's a process. And those who respect the process reap consistent rewards. Those who want everything yesterday reap crumbs at best. We live in a culture of instant gratification. We want immediate results. We want quick solutions. We want overnight transformation. But life doesn't work that way. Nature doesn't work that way. A tree doesn't grow in a day. An athletic body can't be built in a week. A deep relationship doesn't develop in a month, and a thriving identity isn't formed in an hour. Everything that is valuable takes time. It requires patience. It requires persistence. It requires the willingness to continue even when you don't see immediate progress, because progress is happening, only invisibly, in the depths, at the roots, and eventually, it manifests visibly, but only if you don't give up first. Patience is not waiting idly. It's waiting while acting. It's maintaining a high vibration even when nothing seems to be happening. It's trusting that the invisible is organizing itself, that the seeds are germinating, that the structure is being created. And when everything is ready, the fruits will appear. Not before, not after. In due time. Active patience means continuing to do the inner work even when the external results haven't yet changed. It means continuing to think prosperous thoughts, feeling elevated emotions, and making aligned decisions even when your bank account doesn't yet reflect that. It means trusting the process more than the immediate results. And here's something interesting. Often the universe tests your patience. It waits to see if you are consistent, if you only do the work when you are motivated, or if you do the work as a commitment, if you give up at the first obstacle, or if you persevere, because it knows that if you can't sustain the vibration of abundance without abundance, you won't be able to sustain it with abundance either. Therefore, stop doubting halfway through. Stop sabotaging the harvest by digging up the soil every day to see if the seed is growing. That shows distrust. And distrust is a vibration that delays everything. Replace it with silent certainty, with firm confidence, with the tranquil conviction of someone who knows they are doing their part. Silent certainty isn't arrogance, it's peace. It's knowing, deep in your soul, that you're on the right path, that you're doing what you need to do, that the result is inevitable. It's just a matter of time. You don't need to proclaim this to everyone. You don't need external validation. You simply know. And you act based on that knowledge. This is the most powerful attitude there is, because it's not rushed, but it's also not doubtful. It's relaxed, but not passive. It's confident, but not arrogant. It's patient, but not complacent. It knows how to wait, but keeps working. It's the perfect balance between action and permission, between effort and surrender, between doing your part and trusting the universe to do its part. Say it now. I trust in the process of my prosperity. Say it as a commitment, as a silent vow to your best self, because it is that self that will attract everything you desire. Your best version already exists, not as an abstract potential, but as a reality in another dimension. A version of you that already has everything figured out, that has already prospered, that has already become who you want to be. And every time you make an aligned choice, you get closer to that version. Every time you keep your vibration high, you merge a little more with it, until one day you look in the mirror and realize you have become it. Money has a secret to tell you, and it goes like this. I follow those who have a wealthy identity, even if they still have little in their account. This is the ultimate and most liberating secret. Money doesn't look at your current bank account. It looks at your identity. It doesn't care where you are. It cares about who you are. And if who you are internally is someone prosperous, someone who thinks prosperously, feels prosperously, acts prosperously, money will follow you. It will seek you out. It will find you, because you have become your own kind. And when they finally meet, it won't be a tense and desperate encounter. It will be a natural and joyful reunion, like two old friends who always knew they would see each other again. Because you're no longer chasing money. You're the kind of person money chases.